Year-round education has a track system it uses. A school using a single track year-round calendar is simply changing the instructional/vacational sequence of the school year. All students and staff are in school or vacation at the same time, but a school using a multi-track year calendar does something quite different. It divides the entire student body and staff into different tracks, from around 4 to 5. If, for example, a school is using a 4-track system, then they would have, at any time, they would have the 4 tracks attending school, while the 4th is on vacation. The rotation sequence depends on the year-round calendar being used. In the 60/20 track, one track returns from vacation and the track leaves every 20 days. The advantage of a track system is that it expands the seating capacity of the school's facility. For example, if a school with a seating capacity of 1,000 uses a 4-track system, it could potentially enroll 1,333 students, increasing its capacity by about 33%. In practice, 4-track plans typically expand the seating capacity by about 25%. This helps to solve overcrowding problems and get the best use of the resources in the school. I'll take your
You say it solves overcrowding, but it also creates problems for families who have kids in different tracks, or even if you have close friends in different tracks, you're not going to be able to be with the people that you want to be with.
Ooh, that's a good point right there.
Yes, but you, like, if they're your family, it's not like you're not going to see them.
That's
And
not
most
the point.
students, like, most family members don't end up in the same classes anyway in regular school.
I'm talking about how families like to take vacations together, and they probably can't do that because, well, one kid is in school, the other kid is out of school, and you can't work around that.
But most people, like most year-round schools get about a month off in December, so they would still be able to do vacations in December.
Well, you just said that they'll be able to do vacations in December because they have one break, but what if their family really likes to go to the beach or something? They can't do that together because they'll have students on different tracks. So you don't always want to go.
That's also a very good point.
If you want to go somewhere in particular, you can't always do it in December.
Well, I mean,
There you
in
go,
tropical
Leslie. There
areas,
you go.
they still have nice weather. Not at this moment. Okay, so this helps to solve overcrowding problems and it gets the best resources, like I said. It's also a more efficient use of school space because otherwise the building would be unoccupied during the summer, and while it would be used year-round, more energy would not be used because it's still in the same amount of days. And with less overcrowding, the teachers would be able to have more one-on-one time with students that need it, because in traditional school they may not have enough time for everyone to help everyone.
Okay, well, you say that teachers don't have enough one-on-one time with kids, but if you use the year-round schedule, you won't have summer school anymore, which is something that a lot of kids need to help catch up.
Well, I mean, you could always have, like, a lot of teachers do after-school tutoring, like Ms. Bartlett does.
Right, but that's not enough to, like, if you fail the class, you can't retake it, you probably just have to be held back because there's no time for you to retake the whole class if the class is spread throughout a period of time.
That's a good point. This system will also help relieve the pressure on students. When you are just going to school day after day and you want a break, you get tired and exhausted. It tells a toll on your health and the quality of your work and school.
Time. Oh, here comes Mr. Wesley Poindexter.
Finding reliable and steady childcare is very difficult for parents with children on year-round school schedules, especially if they have multiple children on different tracks. Because the breaks are frequent and short, parents can't really hire a nanny because they're only needed for about 3 weeks and then the kids go back to school. Nannies are often paid a salary, which can make them cheaper because if you have to pay a babysitter working all day every day for 3 weeks, you have to pay them hourly, and that makes them pretty expensive. And also you might have to find a new babysitter every time they go on a break, which would be every 45 school days or 9 weeks for the average year-round school. This means that parents have to struggle to find someone new to take care of their children every time there's a break from school, and it's likely to cost more than steady pay over a long break like a nanny would receive. Year-round school also means difficulty finding and keeping jobs for students, specifically in high school, which means they can't save for college or a car or anything else they may need or want. No thank you. Jobs will be hard to come by because you could basically work for 3 weeks and then have no choice but to take about 9 weeks off because you have to go back to school. Who's going to hire someone that only works 1/3 of the time they take off? Another reason year-round schools cause problems is because some low-income families need their kids to help out and make some money. And without a reliable job, those families can't get the extra money they need. So without having a long summer break like a traditional school has, those students can't work to support their families. The support for those families is the most important reason some students need to work. But what about college? Many students need to work in order to pay for some, if not all, of their college. If the students can't work, they can't pay for tuition when that time comes around. Yes.
Couldn't they just get an after-school job?
Yes, but lots of times after-school jobs won't have many hours, and also it won't be, they won't pay as much, so you can't get as much money as you need usually with an after-school job. No, thank you. So, if they can't pay for tuition, that means they might have to take time off after their senior year or sometime during high school. An extra year off might lead to more of a struggle to regain some of their education. If this ends up being the case after high school, then it becomes even more of a problem than summer break. So, year-round schools cause problems for families with parents who have to pay for childcare, especially for multiple children, and it also creates difficulties for students who need to work, whatever the reason for working may be. It could be college, basic necessities around the house, or maybe something they just really want. But in order to get those things, they have to work, which is difficult with year-round school systems. Yes.
You said that they can't pay tuition as much. Well, they get more scholarship. It's more likely to get a scholarship if you go to year-round school
How is it more likely to get a scholarship?
because they get better grades.
That's not necessarily true. Just because you go to year-round school doesn't mean you get better grades.
But you get more test scores, as Anushka said. You get how many points?
9.5.
9.5 more on tests.
What do you
Colleges
mean?
look at that.
What do you mean by 9.5 more?
They get more points on their tests. Say you get a test and you get a 90. A kid at year-round school gets a 99. Something like that. Yes?
No.
Yes,
See,
no.
that's not how it works.
It's an average of score, like that's increased by 9.5.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Can you please explain?
Just
Thank you. All right, that'll end round two. Our speaker two.